People often ask me, how can I stop ruminating with regret over past mistakes? I think that we need to be a little easier on ourselves. Evolution means that we start from a less sophisticated state and move forward to a more sophisticated state. And there is no evolution without a less sophisticated state. Evolution means a less evolved state moving into a more evolved state. And spending too much time contemplating how things could have evolved even faster had you been even wiser, or had you been even more clever or more intelligent or more experienced than you were once upon a time, is a waste of time. It's good for us to understand that the way evolution works is via storyline. Without a storyline is something akin to a river. You know, snow melts on the top of the Himalayas, and then a trickle begins, and then it turns into a river, and the river makes its way down, 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 and is on its way to the ocean. And it may meet an obstacle, and then it backs up into a beautiful big lake, and then it makes its way around the obstacle and turns into a waterfall, and then comes down and makes a serpentine, snake-like movement all the way to widening, widening, widening until it becomes one with the ocean. This is what makes a river interesting. If you have a river that is just a carved concrete canal going from the top of the mountain to the sea, it's boring. Nature's interested in relatability. You know, having had some twists and turns in our storyline, and some blocks and some overcoming of those blocks and all of that, it makes our story relatable. And in the end, when we arrive in our wisdom, we want people to be able to relate to us. We don't want to look as though we just snapped into wisdom, you know, while we were still in diapers, and this is how we lived our entire life. Our life is a process, and that process requires there to be some so-called mistakes. You know, a mistake is where you made a take on a thing, and it was the wrong take, as it turns out, but later on you gained the wisdom from that. Did you learn? To what extent did you learn? And, you know, when we allow some time to be eaten up in the formulation of a proper way of doing things, we can think of that as paying a course fee that's made up of minutes and hours, days, weeks, months, whatever it may be. And if the course fee is expensive, then we should really pay attention to the lesson and see what we learned from it, rather than having to repeat the research again and again. So as long as we have a resolve about having learned, that's all the consideration we need to give to lesser evolved states in life. We're happy and very happy to be more evolved now than once upon a time we were. That's it. Then that should relieve us.